there are there are job environments that lend themselves to burnout more than others
Yeah.
because of terrible fluorescent light,
Yep.
micromanaging bosses
Hmm.
with tuna breath. So I'll take that one after the other. Well, fluorescent lights, I think we're using that in Africa. I don't see, I'm not always around that anymore. I can imagine that people use that to save money in
Yeah.
churches that are just growing and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's probably very cheap and not the best.
Yeah.
Micromanaging, of course, in the environment that you have bosses that are just looking over your shoulder and things like that, that
And
can
don't
not,
trust you.
I
Yeah.
don't trust you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the tuna breath thing. So I think I was at the networking conference, and one of the food I was given was tuna, and they were asking people to network, and you can see that some people ate more than they should, and it was coming out and things like that. So when I was reading that, that was what I remembered from
I don't even remember writing that, but I think it's funny.
yeah. That's so. I can imagine there's some backstory to that why you
Yeah.
put those there.
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny. So the workplace is interesting because this is not my research. It's Christina Maslach and Michael Leiter and Sharon Brow and lots of amazing burnout researchers that have been doing this work since longer than I've been alive. And we owe them everything, right? So they have very consistently over more than 40 years found that there are 6 factors in the workplace that can increase our vulnerability to burnout. Now, I want to be very clear that I did not say cause burnout. Because if you understand how chronic stress happens in the body and you know that some things could be from childhood and from environment, you understand that it can't be from just one thing or one place. So it's bigger than that. But in the workplace, there are 6 factors. They are workload, which is more about how heavy the job feels than how many hours you work. And the job will feel heavy if you don't have enough skills to do it and if you're not given enough resources to do it. It can also feel heavy if it's hours, right? Like that can be part of the equation, but it doesn't have to be necessarily. So you could be working 35 hours a week at a job that you don't have quite enough education for, quite enough skills for, that they're not giving you the resources you need to get those skills. And that job can burn you out at 35 hours a week, even if you are very interested in it, you like the people you work with, right? So workload is more about the weight of what your work feels like to you. And the next one is autonomy. So how much control you have over your workplace. This is when the micromanaging boss comes in. A micromanager doesn't allow for autonomy. And one of the things that comes up often in the research is this word of mismatch, of misalignment, just things that are not quite as they aligned like they should be. This is really true for the autonomy piece, especially because some people, like myself, need very high level of autonomy. So I work for myself because I'm not a great employee. I like to have control over everything. So, and then you have, someone like my mother who enjoys to get a to-do list and check it all off, hand it back to you at the end of the day, said, I did it, and go home and not have to think or strategize or plan for it. So these are the two extremes, right? Me and my mom. Most people are somewhere in the middle. They want some guidance and they also want some freedom to produce their work the way that feels best to them. And as an individual, this is why I don't always blame the workplace for burnout. As an individual, you need to know what your level of autonomy is and how to communicate that to your organization so that we can try to match it as close as possible. We're not looking for 100%, maybe 80, 85, but we want to match it to your level of autonomy. So if you are a doer, like my mom, who doesn't need a high level of autonomy, then you should not take a job that requires a high level of autonomy. This would be a mismatch. And that can create burnout, not because it's bad or good, just because it's not correct for you. Right? So we have workload, we have autonomy, then we have community. There's a lot of people now that say, well, I don't need a friend at work. I go in, I do my work, I go home. And it's like, sorry, Sandra, that's not how it's going to work out. Like, you actually need people, and they don't have to be in your workplace necessarily, but you have to have people in your world that you know have your back. Which is Ruth is one of the people in my world that I know has my back. She's really important to me. And the only reason I have her is because we're both part of the National Speakers Association. You have Toastmasters and people in Toastmasters that can support you, right? And this is really critical to have. So we have workload, we have autonomy, we have community. Then we have values. Again, values are not good or bad. There's no morality to them. They are either matched or mismatched. If you work at a place that doesn't share your values, it is not the company's problem to fix that for you. You shouldn't work at a place that doesn't match your values. That's up to you. But in order for you to do that, you as an individual need to know what your values are, right? The workplace, the way that their values can mess up burnout is if their values that they have like written on the walls and written on their mission statements and painted in lovely colors on their website don't match the values that they act out in the office every day. So if there's a mismatch between a company and itself when it comes to values, it increases the risk factor of burnout for everyone in the whole company from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
So we have workload, autonomy, community, values. We have recognition and praise. Right. This is simple. You're either getting recognition for your work or you're not. But from the leadership side, they have to give it. They have to be specific. They have to know how you like to receive it. From the individual side, you actually have to receive it. If you're told that you're doing something well, but you say, oh, it's no big deal, or you brush it off, or you say, oh, what doesn't matter, then you are not getting the dopamine hit that recognition gives you that protects your brain from going through those brain changes that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So we have workload, autonomy, community, values, recognition, and fairness. In the workplace, life is not fair. It's just not. But in the workplace, when we're looking at fairness, what we're looking for is pay gap equity. And we're looking for clear pathways for advancement that are the same for everyone. So we're looking for a lack of favoritism, a lack of nepotism, things like this, right? So all of these are the factors that in a workplace, if they're done well, can buffer burnout really well. But if they're done poorly, can increase everyone's chances of burning out.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much.